It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey guys, what's up? You're watching Up and Adam. My name's Adam Knoll. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm the guy bringing you guys all the weekly interviews and recaps from your favorite celebrities and pop culture influencers. But for those of you who do know me, you know that that's not why we're always here, right? Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. And with that, let's jump right in. But before we jump in, guys, I just want to address one thing with you. Obviously, I've been reading the comments and you guys have been pointing out that my background looks just a little bit different. Okay, guys, so you know that every Friday we do a show with Pops. Pops pops off on pop culture where we give 100% of the proceeds back to our vets. Well, Pops hasn't necessarily been feeling the best. So with that, we decided to take a trip to California until Monday. And I just wanted to give you a heads up. That is why everything looks just a little bit different. However, that's not the reason we're here today to talk as far as the title of this video and what this thumbnail looks like. We're back to talk about the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Dolores Catania, and exactly what Joe Giudice had to say about it. This season of the Real Housewives of New Jersey started off a little bit chaotic, but it kind of seems like it slowed down a little bit. If you guys haven't been watching, well, if you have or if you haven't, then I will just pretty much bring you up to speed. This season started off with Teresa Giudice spreading a nasty rumor about Jackie Goldschneider's husband, Evan. Evan allegedly was cheating at the gym and hooking up with other people, but this was a completely baseless rumor, and it felt like, well, at least from fans dissecting it, it sort of felt like this was a contrived, pre-produced storyline. It kind of seems like some of the housewives, especially the OG housewives who are trying to keep themselves relevant, keep that $1 million paycheck that's coming in, that they're putting on the producers' caps. It's not even real authentic life anymore. And fans were pretty disappointed with Teresa because of that. They thought in their minds, hey, listen, you went to jail, your husband was deported, you just got out of a divorce, you're now a single mother, and you're dating. Why not make your storyline about that? Why go after somebody else's husband? It doesn't make sense, and it feels a little bit grimy. Well, that's how we started the season off. But from there, now Teresa and Jackie, they're back in cahoots. Everything's back to normal. It's not so much of a tumultuous situation, and the focus has pretty much shifted. The focus has shifted back onto Dolores because all of the women want to know, what are you doing in this relationship? Dolores brings Frank Catania, her ex-husband who cheated on her, committed multiple infidelities, brings him everywhere. He's very much so a part of the family. She says she comes from a traditional background and she wants him to be a part of her kids' lives, and she doesn't want this awkward relationship with her ex-husband. Well, I understand that. I mean, I'm not a father and I've never been married, but not wanting an awkward relationship, that makes sense, right? Well, your kids are out of the house. One's in vet school. The other one is off in college, and you and your ex-husband still live in the same house. That's what fans can't quite understand. Knowing that she is dating the doctor David built them their beautiful dream house, and it's right down the street. Dolores was supposed to move into that house. Dolores said, though, and she put one stipulation out there, if I don't receive a ring, then I'm not ever going to move in with this man. Well, David doesn't plan on putting a ring on it. Actually, instead, he ended up buying her a Porsche. You see where we're going with this? The women were speculating that this was a way for David to sort of stall and buy his time. That way he doesn't actually have to give Dolores a ring. And she gives him every excuse in the book. She's like, listen, he's a great doctor. He doesn't cheat on me. He doesn't curse at me. So why wouldn't I be happy? But if you look at the faces of the other castmates and their moms as they're sitting at Jennifer Aydin's tea party, they're all looking at her like, well, there's a lot more to a marriage than that, or a relationship. She's like, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm successful. I'm a housewife. I'm busy. I have my charities. I don't need to live with this man in order to be happy. Now, she's telling us that, but it seems like everyone else is not buying it, especially the psychic who appeared on this season, Gina Marie. Gina Marie came on this season and said, your grandparents wanted to say hello alongside your puppy. And when she was doing this reading, she actually told Dolores, this man is not the man for you. He's not your end all be all. It's not the love of your life. And eventually you're going to find yourself out of this situation. Now, does Dolores believe in that? We're not quite sure. But did the other women? Yeah, they've been riding her on this for a long time. It's not just the women who have been riding her. There's also been Joey Gorga, who kind of stepped out of his place a little bit by calling her in this episode a broken, battered woman. he was pointing out that the reason that she is so messed up in his eyes, which I don't necessarily think is fair to say. I've met Dolores multiple times. I think she's an absolute sweet woman. She's business savvy. Her kids are successful. She's successful. So calling her a broken, battered, bruised woman, that's a little extreme, you would think, but that's exactly what he did. This was at Michelle's house. Michelle, the new realtor who's been introduced this season, she was a friend of, and also Teresa Giudice's realtor. She is not going to be a full-time housewife, and she's expressed that she doesn't even have the interest in becoming a full-time housewife. After filming with the rest of the women, it's not what she expected, but that's not necessarily the point. The point is, this all went down at her party. She was throwing a party, and all of the women were talking about Dolores before she even got there, and then she walked right into this awkward situation. When she did, Joe did not hold back. Joe pointed across the room right at Frank Catania and said, it's his fault. If he wouldn't have committed infidelity, if he wouldn't have cheated on you, if he wouldn't have raked you through the mud and did everything that he did, you would be a stronger woman today. Now fans are going crazy, especially after Margaret Josephs even pointed out that Joe Gorga looks like a male chauvinistic, I don't want to say the word, but I'm sure you guys will say it. Fans were pissed off about it. They think that it's not fair for a man to step in, and especially he's not related to her. It's not his sister. It's not his wife, his girlfriend. So what is your place in saying this at all? Why not focus on your sister, Teresa Giudice, who has her new man, who was also a big topic of this whole episode, Louis Ruelas, who we get to meet next episode. Why not focus on that relationship? Joe said that his sister is extremely in love. She's smitten. She thinks that she found the love of her life and she has a second chance. Well, that's what it looked like when they were filming the show. But as we know, they stopped filming the show 6 to 8 months ago. And after that, we found out that a lot of abuse allegations came out, domestic violence allegations, sex addiction. I mean, you name it, it's been coming out about Teresa's new man. So I'm sure he's going to face scrutiny now too. So while you might be sitting back and thinking that your hand's not on the fire right now, eventually it will be, because that's the world of Housewives. It's a cycle. If it's not Jackie's husband, now it's going to be Dolores and her man. If it's not Dolores and her man, it's going to be Margaret. If it's not Margaret, now it's going to be Teresa. It's just how it goes. Now, as Joe Giudice is sort of being the bone collector and walking around and collecting all the rumors, sharing them with the rest of the women and the men, everyone's talking about Dolores and David. Dolores finally walks in and realizes that they're all talking about her back. Jackie Goldschneider feels like there's no correlation between receiving expensive gifts like a Porsche and what is a ring. However, someone like Melissa Gorga, one of the other housewives, said, it's a little bit fishy to me. As soon as Melissa goes in, then Michelle goes in. After Michelle goes in, Jennifer Aiden goes in. Teresa's looking at her. And with that, Dolores ended up telling everybody to pretty much go F themselves. She has to defend her man, defend David. David's never there. She's always toting around Frank Catania, and she's over it. After she told everybody to go F themselves, she told Frank, come on, you need to get in the car and drive me home. The women are telling her, no, Dolores, don't leave. She's like, no, F you, F you, F you, F you, F you. I'm done. Now, will she actually be done? Absolutely not. But is she done with the conversation? 1,000,000%. It's not just the housewives, though, their brothers, the husbands, and all of the friends who are questioning her relationship. Valerie questions it too. But she tried to explain to her mom, Valerie, that's her mom, just to be fair. She tries to explain to her mom, Valerie, listen, maybe I took after you and I am interested in having a relationship in an untraditional way. You don't live with dad. You and dad are still married. You live in separate houses, and maybe I'm going to end up the same way. Valerie doesn't want that for her, but at the same time, she doesn't want her to get back with Frank Catania, who is technically a fan favorite. Fans were definitely in awe after they had the conversation about Dolores's biopsy, because she went and got a mammogram and they found something that triggered a sort of biopsy situation, but she did receive a call that said she is cancer-free. So that's always a good sign, because we want to keep our Dolores around. But with that, Frank was letting her know, listen, I love you. So if you're ever going through something, then you just need to talk to me about it. And she stopped him right in his tracks by letting him know, look, Frank, you don't talk to me like that. She knows that this is being recorded. She knows it's on camera. David's obviously going to see it play back, and it kind of makes him look like a little bit of a joke. To be fair, I know the fans are saying that, but I kind of feel like that too. Of course, we know that's how we ended off this episode, but we do have a lot to look forward to next week, or maybe even a little, depending how interested you are in Teresa Giudice's new man. We finally get to meet Louis Ruelas, but it's not just about Louis Ruelas. We still get to come back and pick up where we left off with this whole Dolores and David conversation, and she still has to face the women again after walking out. Now, that's not going to be a hard task for Dolores because she could really give to, you know what I mean, about the rest of the women and what they think. She's made that very clear, but it is always nice to see her defend herself. And if they're going to talk about her, at least talk to her face. In true Housewives fashion, we get conflict and resolution. So you can't just go and create all of this conflict and not have any resolution, because at that point we're watching Love and Hip Hop or Bad Girls Club. That's not what we're watching. That's not Bravo's makeup of their shows. So we kind of have to get it together at this point. It's not just about Dolores and it's not just about Teresa, though. We're going to pick up with Jennifer and her mom trying to navigate their relationship. As we've seen this season, the main storyline for Jennifer Aiden is her tumultuous relationship with her parents and trying to get them back together without really pissing off her mom. Okay. With that, guys, we have a lot to look forward to, but I'm curious what you took away from this. What did you guys think about Joe Gorga calling Dolores a broken woman? What did you think about Margaret calling him chauvinistic? Did you feel like it was Joe's place or not? You guys know I read all the comments, and I definitely will be going through them with Pops. So if you haven't already, go ahead, comment below. And before you go, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. And with that, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Check us out every Monday and Wednesday. Thanks for watching Up and Adam.